gasket on now. This shank cleaned this surface more or less, and shanking cleanliness. We'll slip the head gasket on here. Okay, and that's got a couple of pins that are hopefully going to hold it in place while we put the thing on. We'll set a piece of wood block across here, and Shank sort of cleaned this head up too, to his satisfaction.
I think you're making fun of my cleanliness.
It can happen. Okay, somehow we get the head in. Alright, we got to get the cam chain block up in there. Okay, so now we can take the studs, which we carefully filed the rough places off. Slip that through the gasket. Probably the best way to do this. Put all four of them in. Just screw in a little bit there so we can get the head all positioned like it's supposed to be. Alright, so we're going to screw all four of these in. Cut. We've gotten all four of those studs screwed in, so now what we're going to do is remove the block of wood and set the head down on there. And now what we're going to do is just insert the bolts. Nothing gets tightened, just not beyond literally finger tight. And after we get everything in, then we're going to look at the torque spec and torque everything in the proper order to the proper torque. So with the head, torque is critical, and it's staged. So all we're going to do right now is get all the bolts in place so that we can properly torque it when the time comes on the diagram. And there's an easier way to do this. So what we've got is the four screws go on the studs from the top, and there's two bolts that go through the head into the cylinder, and then there's the bolts in the front and rear that go up from the bottom of the cylinder up into the head, and then there's the three little ones that go along there. So, okay, this is the torque diagram. We've got it positioned like the head is positioned here. There's one of these on the F650.com, fact.f650.com. So this is the way that it works. 1, two, so those are the two bolts that come up from the bottom in the front and the back of the cylinder. They get torqued to 28 Newton meters. And then we do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in two stages, we do the studs. We go 20 Newton meters and 50 Newton meters. And then we go back and we get these guys from inside at the top. We get this guy and this guy, and then we get the three on the tower, and then we finish up with the same ones that we started with, just to recheck them at 28 Newton meters. So you know, there's the chart. You can look at it and admire it, and maybe you can even see it. So what we're going to start with is number 1 and 2 are the rear and the front at 28 Newton meters. So we've got a torque wrench set to 28 Newton meters. Okay. I don't think you got to come on the other side. Okay. All right, now we're going to reset the torque wrench to 28. To 20? I thought we were on 20.
No, we were on 28.
Oh, 28. Okay, so now we're back down to 20. You can hear a little click the torque wrench makes when it reaches the proper torque, but that's where we stop. That right there. Okay, now we're going to reset to 28. 50. To 50? Yes, to 50. Reset to 50 and go around again.
You didn't do 7.
Yeah, I didn't do 7.
This one's 7. You started on 8.
Oh, okay. Do them in the right order.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, so that got all the studs. Now we go back to 20 again? 28. Go back to 28 with the 10mm socket. $11, $12. All right, now we're going to get the tower ones. So these are all number 13. It doesn't really matter which order you do them in, I guess. And there's no way to get a torque wrench on these. But since they're only torqued to 10, that's a calibrated feel, like the bolts that hold the cam carriers in. Okay. And now 14 is the one in the back at the bottom. 15's in the front. And then the last one is the one from the top on the outside. And that's that. And the rest of it is reassemble in reverse order. You put the radiator back on, put the starter back in, put the carburetor back on, put the cams back in. I guess there's one thing that I should show. One more thing, and that is the special tool here that is a bent coat hanger to get the cam chain and fish it back out. You reach in there with a coat hanger and pull the cam chain up. And then you can put the cams back in.